Hey there, climate warriors and curious minds. Today, we're diving deep into a hot topic, Elon Musk's supposedly simple solution to one of the biggest challenges of our time, climate change. We're talking about the carbon tax. Buckle up because we're about to embark on a 5-minute journey to break down this concept, its potential impacts, and why it might not be as straightforward as it sounds. Let's start with Musk's bold claim. In his own words, the only action needed to solve climate change is a carbon tax. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But what exactly is a carbon tax? And why does Musk think it's the silver bullet for our climate woes? A carbon tax is essentially a fee imposed on the burning of carbon-based fuels like coal, oil, and gas. The idea is to make polluters pay for the carbon they emit, encouraging them to reduce their emissions and invest in cleaner technologies. This concept is rooted in basic economic theory. Economists call it internalizing an externality. In simpler terms, it's about making sure the price of a product reflects its true cost to society, including environmental damage. Musk argues that we're dealing with an untaxed negative externality, a fancy way of saying that the real cost of carbon emissions isn't reflected in the prices we pay for goods and services. He claims this hidden carbon subsidy amounts to a whopping $5.3 trillion annually, according to the IMF. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Musk doesn't specify how high this carbon tax should be, and that's a pretty crucial detail. The social cost of carbon, the damage done by each ton of CO2, is hotly debated among economists and policymakers. Estimates range widely. Under the Obama administration, it was estimated at about $43 per ton. The Trump administration lowered it to $6 to $9 per ton. Now, under Biden, it's been raised to $190 per ton. That's a huge difference, and it shows just how politically charged this issue is. Some researchers argue it could be as low as $0.63 per ton, while others push for much higher figures. This wide range makes it challenging to determine the right level for a carbon tax. Let's break down what these numbers might mean for you and me. A carbon tax of $190 per ton would increase gas prices by about $1.71 per gallon. That means if you're paying $3.15 per gallon now, it could jump to $4.86. Ouch! And it's not just gas. Energy costs are baked into the manufacturing, transportation, and operating costs of pretty much everything we buy. So, we could see price increases across the board. Musk suggests that these increased costs could be offset by reductions in other types of taxes. But many economists worry that a carbon tax could be regressive, meaning it would hit lower-income households harder. Another major challenge: should this be a global tax or implemented country by country? Musk doesn't specify. But climate change is a global problem, and a patchwork approach might not be effective. If some countries implement a carbon tax while others don't, it could lead to carbon leakage, where high-emitting industries simply move to countries without the tax. This could potentially make the global problem worse, not better. It's also important to note that we already have a complex web of climate policies in place. In the US, we have various regulations, mandates, subsidies, and even some regional cap-and-trade systems. Adding a carbon tax on top of all this isn't as simple as it sounds. How would it interact with existing policies? Would some need to be rolled back? These are questions Musk doesn't address in his simplified proposal. Musk does suggest phasing in the tax over 5 years, giving companies time to adapt. He says, maybe it takes 5 years before the carbon taxes are very high, so that means that only companies that don't take action today will suffer in 5 years. But this raises questions too. How high is very high? And what about the impact on consumers and the overall economy during this transition? While many economists support the idea of a carbon tax, there's still significant debate about whether it's the best approach to tackling climate change. Some argue for cap-and-trade systems instead, while others push for more direct regulations or government investments in clean energy. And then there's the political reality. In the United States, for instance, only about 38% of Americans say they're willing to pay even a $1 monthly carbon fee. That's a tough starting point for implementing a significant carbon tax. So, is a carbon tax really the silver bullet for climate change, as Musk suggests? While it could be a powerful tool, it's clearly not as simple as he makes it sound. There are complex economic, political, and social factors to consider. What do you think? Is a carbon tax the answer to our climate woes, or do we need a more comprehensive approach? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explainers on climate solutions and tech innovations. Until next time, stay curious and keep thinking green.